Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Television celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the news at 10. A reminder of our major stories tonight. Anglican Primate Reverend Nicholas Oko seeks extension of anti-corruption war beyond the federal level, says fight is an indictment on all citizens. Nigeria's poor electricity supply comes into focus as participants at a forum on energy challenge the federal government on implementation of energy policies. Health workers at the Federal Medical Center, Owerri, down tools as the federal government clears medical director of alleged mismanagement. And the death toll from a train accident in Cameroon rises to 63. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from the respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. The medical director of the Federal Medical Center, Owerri, Imo State, Dr. Angela Wakwem, may not have any case to answer after all. This is because investigations by the federal government reveals that Dr. Wakwem is not guilty of accusations leveled against her by the health workers of the hospital. The federal government has subsequently directed that she resume office as a substantive medical director of the center after about 10 years of being suspended. 10 months.
Days back, members of the Joint Sector Health Union workers at the Federal Medical Center, Owerri, Imo State, staged a protest asking the federal government to reverse their plans of recalling the medical director of the center.
FMC must be better, this is our prayer.
And so they should do the needful. They should actually go back and see those allegations and look at them. If she is worth coming back, then we will know. But I don't think she is free to come back. No. So we still stand by what we stand by. We don't want her and we don't want her.
This protest did not sway the federal government as they insist that an investigation carried out did not find her culpable in any way. The lady in the eye of the storm has since assumed office and she promises to ensure better delivery of healthcare services to the people of Imo State and beyond. She is also waving the olive branch to the aggrieved workers.
We want to recognize the fact that we did not serve them optimally. Regardless of the peace that may or may not have been found, the factor is that we did not optimize our care. And that is the basis of my apologizing as of courtesy to the members of the public.
In the meantime, the health union workers are not relenting. They've withdrawn their services. The doctors, on the flip side, are filling the gap created by the protesting workers.
As it is, we are not in a position to tell the federal government who heads what institution or who does not head. Our own is that we are here to protect the welfare of our members, and we are here on ground to discharge our duties to the best of our abilities and within the confines of what we can provide.
In all, the workers are sticking to their guns. They'll continue to down their tools, they say. With this heated atmosphere, government has deployed security operatives to the center to forestall any breakdown of law and order.
Dr. Wakwem resumes office as a substantive medical director after about 10 months of suspension and not 10 years, as I earlier said. Well, there's been a huge protest in Osun State by groups kicking against the long closure of the state's College of Education. Activities at the institution came to a halt about 2 months ago following a disagreement between the governing council, the school management and the workers' union. The union is asking for the removal of the chairman of the institution's governing council over allegations of misappropriation of funds.
The crisis rocking the Osun State College of Education in Laorogun has disrupted the academic calendar since January 2016. Worried by this trend, the students of the school, joined by the youth and indigents of the town, gather at the market square with leaves and placards as early as 8 a.m. to protest the long closure of the institution. The protest, which paralyzed commercial activities in the town, almost led to a face-off with security forces. One of the students, Fabode Olushaya, who lamented the effects of the whole crisis on their academic calendar, says the protest has become necessary.
It's not today, it has been existing since. At least the issue of strike in Russia become an annual event, every year event, whereby you are affect the economy of Ila entirely. So that is why we believe that today we can easily find means and tell the whole world that Ila students are suffering.
For the traders, their means of livelihood has been cut short as a result of the long closure of the school. We have all become debtors. We have borrowed money for business, but we cannot pay back because we cannot sell what we used the money for. They should please open this institution so that we can sell and make profit. We are suffering in Ila town. The traditional ruler of the town, the Orogun of Ila, Oba Abdul Wahab Oyedotun Bibire I, believes that a policy statement from the Osun State government will go a long way in resolving the impasse.
They are fighting on behalf of the college, on behalf of the town. I don't see anything bad in what they are doing. They are telling the government or the world the feelings of the town.
The Chairman House Committee on Education, Folorin Shoba Mishayemi, who spoke to Channels Television via a telephone call, appealed for calm and assured residents that the state government will soon resolve the crisis.
Yes, I can understand the situation, the position of the residents. The closure of the school has affected economic activities around the school. I just want to appeal to them that I am sure very, very soon a pronouncement will be made on the school. And very key decisions will be communicated to all and sundry.
In the meantime, the residents of Ila have vowed to continue the protest until the school is reopened.
Following the criticisms that trailed the suspension of the teaching of history in the curriculum of basic education, the federal government has reintroduced the subject in primary and secondary schools across the country. In 2010, it was merged with social studies in basic education curriculum. However, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, said the reintroduction has become important given the critical nature of the subject to the nation's social-political development.
The struggle for Nigeria's independence was a milestone in the nation's history. It's a key component of Nigeria's nationhood, and succeeding generations need to have that understanding. Those involved in transferring historical knowledge believe that teaching the subject will help young ones to appreciate the nation better and understand their identity.
I don't think it's a holistic curriculum. So without history, we cannot have a complete curriculum in any country. And also to say in Nigeria here, we value what has happened in the past. And we know that children need to know about all the happenings in the past.
It is from history we examine the present, judge the past and predict the future. If we don't have history in the schools, we will not have what happened during the Civil War. The children, the present generation will not know what happened during the World War. They will not know what happened during the time of the previous governments in the country, even the Nigerian political system.
About 6 years ago, the federal government scrapped history as a core subject in primary and secondary schools and subsumed it in social studies. But the present administration believes that history as a core subject will help children become aware of the nation's quest for a united country.
We in the Federal Ministry of Education are very aware of the importance of history and the need for its continuous inclusion and reinforcement in the curricula, especially at this time in the history of Nigeria. This is what we hope history will be able to do to our children, to enable the learners to become well-enlightened citizens of the society who respect diversity and strive for the attainment of the unity of Nigeria as one indivisible entity.
To further foster unity and tolerance, government is also considering making the study of Christian religious knowledge compulsory for secondary schools.
Joining me now on the news at 10 to talk about this issue is Dr. David Aworawo, a lecturer with the Department of History and Strategic Studies at the University of Lagos. So good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you.
Now, history is about connecting the link between the past, the present, and, of course, the future. But it is one of the most unappreciated subjects. Why do you think this is so?
Two main reasons. First, the nature, essence, and content of history is not understood by many. And so they tend to just see history as some narrative of the rise and fall of empires. Here we talk about Mali Empire, Songhai Empire, Ghana Empire, and they think that's all history is about. That's one. Second, the issue of bread and butter. There was a time that the federal government should pay attention to science and technology, because that could bring something you could see, you know. History, like maybe literature, other subjects in the arts, you know, are perceived as subjects that would not bring something immediately to the table. That is why history has not been appreciated.
But you see, now with the reintroduction, do you think it would be better appreciated, for instance, by students if, you know, it's made a compulsory subject? Sure.
Like I said before, the main reason why people don't appreciate history is because they don't know the content, the essence. Now, when history is to be returned as a compulsory subject, they will be compared to learn it. And they will be amazed what history brings to the table. National integration, economic development, diverse issues. There is nothing on earth that history does not relate to. Even medicine. Before a doctor can diagnose properly, you know, and treat you well, he has to ask your medical history. So that organic link between the past, present, and future is there, but it's not appreciated. So when it's made compulsory, we'll be compared to learn it, and then the essence and importance of history will be appreciated.
But then, are there enough teachers to ensure proper understanding of the issues? Because taking a look at the curriculum, for instance, it seems very, very heavy. You have to learn about British history, American history, Malian history, like you already mentioned, talking about Nigerian history. There's so much for you to cover. Is there capacity to ensure that there's proper understanding of the issues?
Sure. Fortunately, the answer is yes. Even though at the lower level, primary, secondary, history was relegated for a long time. Fortunately, at the tertiary level, the universities continue to teach history. And over time, we have so many history graduates qualified, competent to teach the subject. So now that the subject is going to return as a compulsory subject, we have manpower to be able to do that. Now, regarding the second issue, it's an issue we have reflected on over a long time. The content, the syllabus, is actually, loaded, maybe overloaded. We've taken a look at that, and it's something that our society and, the professionals will work on, such that the content will be made lighter, maybe Nigerian history, African history, and topics in world history. Make it lighter, and then make it more exciting too. We can bring themes and other things that will add excitement to the teaching. And I can assure you that moving forward, both the students and the teachers will be happy that history is back. So in line with everything now, moving forward, what should be the next priority? Two things. First, we have to ensure that what the minister has said is fulfilled. In September 2000, President Obasanjo made a similar directive that history should return when it was vetoed by Professor Ajayi, Alagua, and some other professors. But that never saw light of day. In 2013, President Jonathan also did the same thing. He didn't see light of day. So the first thing to do is for the Supreme State of Nigeria, us historians, so link up with the minister to ensure that what he has directed is carried out. That's one. And then second, what I said before, we need to take another look at the content of the curriculum to make it lighter, make the teaching more exciting, such that all the benefits that history hosts, all of us can benefit from it. Dr. David Aworawo, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. Thank you very much.
And still ahead on the News at 10, regulators call for stricter measures against importation of substandard goods into Nigeria. That's on Business News. Please join us again.